Live 5 News starts now with First Alert Weather, Dorian aftermath.
And right now, the low country recovering from Hurricane Dorian. That storm brought strong wind and rain, downing trees and power lines across our area. We have team coverage today as crews work to restore power for the thousands still without it and people returning home to see just how much damage was done. Right now, our coverage starts with Caitlin Stansel. She's live in West Ashley. Caitlin?
I have Dominion Energy crews here behind me. This is Pierpoint Avenue in the West Ashley area, just up from Magwood Drive here. And you can see they're working to repair power to these homes here on this roadway. And I want to show you why it's out. It's because of this tree right over here. It fell on these lines during Hurricane Dorian. And the people who live here tell me they've been without power since at least 2 a.m. Thursday morning. As this heat is here, it's been very uncomfortable. One person I was talking to said they have actually been staying in a hotel since Thursday morning because of the heat, because the power has been out. And currently Dominion Energy is reporting about 41,000 people in Charleston County alone are without power as these crews work to get it restored. They are working around the clock. But it's not just power to homes that's out at this point. There are many traffic lights around the low country, around intersections here in Charleston County that are out. So if you are heading out, driving around, be cautious of that. Again, we are continuing to monitor this situation with power outages. 41,000 people here in Charleston County. And if you live in Dorchester County, they are experiencing power outages there too. About 3,800 people without power. 3,500 in Berkeley County and 3,200 in Colleton County, and that is only looking at Dominion Energy's outage map. So crews working hard around the clock to get power restored. We're going to continue to monitor this situation and keep you updated right here on Live 5 News. For now, live from West Ashley, I'm Caitlin Stansel. Back to you.
All right, Caitlin, thank you very much. Now, speaking of those power outages, the entire city of Georgetown was in the dark at one point. Carter Coyle is live downtown Georgetown for us now. And Carter, luckily, the lights now all back on. But how are things looking as far as the damage there?
Well, despite some reports of damage near the beaches, Litchfield and Pauley specifically, Georgetown County leaders say they do not have any reports of injuries or major structural damage, thankfully, here in Georgetown County. There are still about 6,000 power outages throughout the county, though most of it here in the city has been restored. So here's the video before. Flooded Front Street yesterday, a real mess, flooding into some of the businesses here. Here's the after video today, though. A beautiful sunny day. We need our sunglasses out here, and thankfully all the flooding has receded, and folks are really out and about today checking on their restaurants, checking on their businesses and boutiques. Some of them did start cleaning up yesterday, but the mayor says as they've assessed downtown, really it was not as bad as they thought that it could be.
We're very fortunate. We asked our citizens to think about their personal safety first, which they did. Spots in the city where we do have power outages, but our crew, along with our contracting crew, they're working right now to restore power to those areas, at least by the end of the day.
And what a relief, downtown looking so much better than it did at high tide yesterday. The governor was just here in Georgetown County checking on officials who've been working around the clock and are now finally heading home. The governor is now headed to Charleston. Live here in Georgetown, I'm Carter Coyle for Live 5 News.
Most of Georgetown County saw impact from this storm, including Pauley's Island. Caroline Hecker was there with a look at what Dorian left behind.
It could have been a lot worse. That's the message coming from the Pauley's Island police chief tonight after the island is left cleaning up in Hurricane Dorian's wake. What were once beautiful boardwalks, now really twisted piles of wood. That boardwalk completely washed over, slamming into this one as a result of Hurricane Dorian's storm surge and powerful winds. Many boardwalks, just like these along the creek side of the island, suffered serious damage, from the walkways being bent out of shape to pavilions being turned over on their roofs. A storm surge of 5 to 7 feet of water breached the island's sand dunes, leaving 2 feet of sand in the roadway. The National Guard and SCDOT officials are working together to remove the sand from the road before allowing residents back in.
And we've done this before. This is our fourth hurricane in 5 years that we've had to clean the roads, but this is probably on par with Hurricane Matthew.
The coastline calm today, quite the turnaround from just 24 hours ago when Hurricane Dorian was making its presence known along the South Carolina coast. Governor Henry McMaster arrived here in Georgetown County today to be briefed on the damage. There are still several roadways throughout the county with standing water on them, but that's expected to go down as we enter the weekend.
Now, if you need to report property damage, here's what you need to know. Even though insurance companies have their own tools for reporting property damage, the South Carolina Emergency Management Division has a free app that lets you assess damage as well. Charleston, Dorchester, and Berkeley counties also have ways for you to report damage after the storm. Those links can be found on our website at live5news.com. But please note, these forms are not to request someone to come look at and pay for that damage. Instead, these forms help county officials to gauge the extent of the damage so they can report it to the state. This will help determine how much federal and state funding your county will receive. Right now, crews all over downtown Charleston cleaning up fallen trees and debris. There are still hundreds of reports of trees down. Rob Way has been in downtown through the storm and joins us now live. And Rob, these crews are moving quickly.
And just as we were getting here to Rutledge Ave, right near Mount Pleasant Street, one crew was already up and moving. That was about 25 minutes ago. They were dealing with this massive tree, which fell onto Rutledge Ave and also onto this house. But let me just show you this tree for an example. Look how hollow the inside is. It really goes to show you the size of the tree. And what they're telling me is this is how much wood was actually holding the tree up. So all it really did take was a little wind to knock it over, and of course causing that hazard here on Rutledge Ave near Mount Pleasant Street. But also I was just talking with this homeowner here at 924 Rutledge, and you can see there's a little damage there on his roof. He said the tree actually fell that direction as well, causing a lot of problems here. Now, the team that was working to clean up this is one of several teams the city's Parks Department has out. They have about 120 workers out on the streets cleaning up situations just like this, and some of them tell me they've been working 12-hour shifts. Now, the director of the Parks Department tells me that though they are working to clean up things as fast as possible, they probably will be working through the weekend.
The National Weather Service told us that in the past 27 years, this has been the most steady, longest drawn-out tropical storm that we've had. So Dorian moved through the city so slowly as it did in the Bahamas and Florida that the tropical storm force winds just lasted forever, and we saw a lot more tree damage than we anticipated.
Now, crews are going to continue to work through tonight, cleaning up, again, situations like this where we have all this debris. And as I was saying, the Parks Department says they're working through the weekend and probably into next week. Live in downtown Charleston, Rob Way, Live 5 News.
Yeah, quite a mess ahead there. Our things sure have changed in the last 24 hours. It has been an absolute beautiful day full of blue skies here across the low country. Meteorologist Stephanie Sine joining us now. Stephanie, the hurricane is out of here, but even with the cleanup, we've got a pretty nice weekend ahead.
That is right. Focusing on the positive end. Pretty nice this weekend. A lot of sunshine expected. However, hot. Not such good news if you still don't have power, maybe just living without air conditioning or even a fan maybe. Definitely try your best to stay cool as that heat will stick around. Beautiful view outside, though. You can see that here as we look into Monk's Corner on this Friday afternoon. Once again, I'm sure a lot of you were out and about today trying to clean up the yard. You dealt with digits like this. Current temperatures 91 in North Charleston, 87 at Sullivan's, 92 in Monk's Corner, 94 in Orangeburg. So just very hot, uncomfortable, muggy out there. And actually, it will get warmer throughout the weekend. So Saturday and Sunday, very similar to what you felt today. Adding a chance of rain to the forecast. We'll talk about when in just a few moments. Let's check out traffic, though, if you are heading out and about. I know we've talked a lot about some of those traffic lights being out, so do keep that in mind. Definitely have patience if you're heading out this evening. You can see all of the closures that we have here. It would literally take me about 2 hours to get through all of this, but you really can see into downtown, also parts of West Ashley, Johns Island, James Island, still seeing those closures. Live look outside, though, on 526 westbound. This is mile marker 199. Really no issues. Pretty smooth sailing on the interstate there. 526 eastbound, mile marker 28. Really no issues here either. Drive safely.
Governor Henry McMaster is here in Charleston County. He's going to hold a news conference in the next hour about the storm's impacts here. Harv Jacobs is live at the EOC right now, where that news conference should be taking place. Harv, what's he expected to talk about?
A lot of stuff, and the governor got here a little before 5 o'clock this afternoon. He was accompanied by DOT Secretary of Transportation Christy Hall, other public officials here, Mayor Tecklenburg, and others. Back in Georgetown County, I should say, he talked about what an unusual hurricane this is. He said they never go where you want them to go, of course, and he said we live in paradise, and this happens sometimes. This is the price we pay for living in paradise. He was very happy that there were no serious injuries, no loss of life from Hurricane Dorian, apparently. Christy Hall said the road's in very good shape. That was up in Georgetown County. I know they mentioned that Pawleys Island got hit very hard. We understand the governor did tour by helicopter parts of the low country down here to see what kind of shape that our roads were in, and also neighborhoods. He's upstairs right now with the officials here at the OC. His press conference is scheduled for 5:30, and we'll carry that live. We'll be back with more of our coverage of Hurricane Dorian right after this.
Now, your first alert forecast from Live 5 News.
Friday afternoon, the day after Dorian moves out, the sunshine is back just like we expected. You can see a live look outside there into Monk's Corner. Dry right now, nice blue sky, really not too many issues. Maybe the heat, if we have an issue today. 92 degrees, that was our high temperature, so definitely trending a few degrees above average for this time of the year. As we make our way through September, those average high temperatures tend to drop a bit. However, we're starting to see the actual forecasted temperatures go up. Feels like it's 95 degrees right now just because of that humidity out there. Right now, live Super Doppler Max not showing much of anything. Should really remain dry at least for the rest of our day. Not much going on. Do have the slight chance of maybe a shower throughout the weekend. We'll talk about that chance, but for tonight, smooth sailing, no issues if you're heading out and about. Really not too many problems for you into the end of our work week, which is good news after we got through Dorian, of course. Current temperatures hot, like I mentioned. You can see we are in the 90s further inland. Pretty uncomfortable actually towards Orangeburg. 94 degrees right now, 91 in Manning, also in Somerville, also in Beaufort as well. 87 at Sullivan's this afternoon. 24-hour temperature difference you can see here. Definitely feeling a change in the weather out there. 18 degrees warmer in Kingstree, 16 in Georgetown, also North Charleston, 11 degrees warmer in Orangeburg. So we're definitely feeling that warmer trend. It's also feeling warmer than it actually is. You can see our heat index map. This is actually the feeling you have when you step outside, despite what you read on the thermometer out there. 95, that's how it's feeling in North Charleston. 93 at Foley, 100 in Beaufort, 94 in Somerville, 95 in Monk's Corner. So definitely a hot one. Temperatures right now, you can see the summer. Those warm, hot temperatures have returned, especially into the southeast, also the deep south here. Look at parts of Texas, those high temperatures, actually current temperatures in the upper 90s for them. Once again, 91 here in Charleston. You can see in Tallahassee, 92 degrees. Atlanta even warmer at 94. So all of us here in the southeast dealing with some heat after Dorian has finally moved away from our area. Evening planner for tonight, those temperatures will drop back into the 70s. You can see by 11 o'clock this evening. Pretty calm out there, not much going on. The wind really subsiding. We're at 77 degrees as we move closer to midnight. Low temperatures this evening, not necessarily comfortable. I know that's not good news for the folks without power, including myself actually. You can see further inland temperatures are in the 60s. That will be a brief cool down early tomorrow morning before we heat back up into the low 90s for high temperatures for the start of our weekend. Once again, our weather map showing now what is left of Dorian. Believe it or not, the lifespan of Dorian still kicking out there. Off the coast now, right around the North Carolina coastline, also maybe Delmarva coast. As you can see, they do have tropical storm warnings really up their coastline. That will continue to lift out of there to the northeast. For us, though, A hot day. Once again, that's really the only issue for the weekend, possibly the heat out there. High heat index levels. It can actually feel like it's around 102 by tomorrow afternoon, so do make sure you stay cool. Let's talk about Dorian, now a Category 1 hurricane for our Friday afternoon here. However, look at this. Our National Hurricane Center track has it re-strengthening once again to a Category 2. This has happened a few times with Dorian, so we're expecting it to re-strengthen to a 2 at some point into the weekend. And then after, it really does lift to the northeast there. Nova Scotia, also Newfoundland, they already have those tropical storm warnings and watches up for those islands. But Dorian is not finished yet for those to the northeast. Luckily, not an issue for us. 70 forecast, looking pretty nice. If you want to get out and about and still have cabin fever from staying in from the storm this past week, those temperatures will stay hot for the next few days. Maybe not bad beach days. Actually, the water temperature is back down to 79 degrees, so a little cool. 90 on Tuesday, chance of afternoon showers into next week. Let's talk about traffic. The commute, if you have one, actually. First alert traffic. If you're out and about, once again, just use extra caution if you drive. Definitely common sense out there with a lot of intersections. Still not seeing traffic light activity, so do keep that in mind. You can see here as we take a live look outside, if my graphics move on forward, unfortunately. There we go. 26 westbound, mile marker 199. Pretty smooth sailing. Haven't seen a lot of issues, at least on our interstates. That is fantastic news if you're heading out and about, finally getting out of the house after the storm. Really not too many issues. Live look outside on 526 eastbound, mile marker 28. Smooth sailing. Drive safely.
We are learning new details today about a house fire in Mount Pleasant. Fire officials think that fire was storm-related. The Charleston County coroner has identified the 2 people killed in that fire. The coroner says 80-year-old Donnie Caston and his wife, 75-year-old Linda, both died. It happened on Horseshoe Bend. Now, in a statement today, Mayor Will Haney said, "Our hearts are heavy over the loss of Mr. and Mrs. Caston. It was particularly hard on our brave first responders who did everything possible to save them. Please keep the family and our first responders in your prayers." Berkeley, Georgetown, Colleton, Charleston, and Beaufort County schools will all be open on normal schedules starting Monday. So far, those are the only districts that have released an official plan for next week. We're still working to learn more about the others here in the Lowcountry, and as soon as we do, we will update you right here on air and online. The city of Charleston says right now parking garages are still open and free for people who need to use them. They'll stay that way through most of the weekend to let crews clear the streets of debris. You will have to move your car by 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday. There are 12 locations open right now. You'll find that list on our website. Charleston, Mount Pleasant, North Charleston, Somerville, and Goose Creek will all resume trash pickup on Monday. In Berkeley County, the landfill is back open for residents to dump their trash. Isle of Palms and Hanahan has suspended their trash collection services until further notice. Town officials say they need to assess the damage from Dorian before services can resume. Curbside recycling in Charleston County will go back to normal on Monday. Now, if you missed any of this information, we have it on our website. Just go to live5news.com and search garbage collection. A lot of people are asking about whether they need to boil water before using it right now. The only place where we have heard about a boil water advisory is on Pawleys Island. The police department there is telling residents to boil their water for the next 2 days before using it. Now, the Charleston water system tells us that everything in its system is operating normally and that the water is safe to drink. But utilities are recommending that people conserve their wastewater use through tonight. And that means things like flushing your toilets, taking showers, and washing clothes. The utilities say that will all help while the wastewater pump stations get back their power. Mount Pleasant has tips for you as you set out debris to get picked up. Make sure that you separate different debris items into piles. You want to cut your tree limbs into 4-foot-long sections. Make small piles so the cars can drive safely on the road, and keep those piles away from utilities so they don't damage them during the pickup process. And finally, be sure to sweep the curbs free of any debris into paper bags so it can be collected as well. Live 5 is teaming up with the American Red Cross for a blood drive next week. People from the organization say they need help saving lives, especially now.
Well, we have an urgent need for blood, and a lot of this is because of Hurricane Dorian. It did force us to cancel many blood drives, resulting in over 12,000 units of blood lost between North Carolina and South Carolina.
Now, that blood drive is happening next Tuesday. It is from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. at Citadel Mall. That is right near the center of the mall, near the Pretzel Twister. And all donors will get a sports clip coupon. You can make an appointment right now online at the American Red Cross website, or you can just walk in. And I'm going to be there next week giving blood. That will make me a 3-gallon blood donor. And I want all of you to please come out as well. As you heard Trisha Bant say, they had to cancel so many of their blood drives last week or this week because of the storm, because they really need you to come out now to give that blood that they missed last week. Please come out, help your neighbors and your friends.